might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Welcome in week 10 of the 12-week FMA Freedom Motorsports GT3 Challenge. After this one, only 2 more races to go. The drivers out there qualifying, trying to put their best foot forward here, trying to maximize their start position, trying to gather up as many points as they can as we head to the finale of the season, coming up in only 3 short weeks. There'll be 1 off week, I believe, for Memorial Day weekend, and then we'll be back at it again. But welcome this is Racer Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell in the booth with me as usual, the man who has not missed a Freedom Motorsports GT3 race here on Racer Nexus since they have joined us. That is Richard Swindells. Welcome to PORTIMAO, Circuit del Algarve in Portugal, Rich.
Yeah, it's good to be back, folks. Hey, Rob, we're working on a stat holiday, but they take the stat holiday off for them for the racing? Hey. Oh well, never mind. It's all good. It's going to be an exciting race tonight. Everybody loves PORTIMAO. Algarve it's got everything, doesn't it?
It does have a little bit of everything, and while our drivers are out there in qualifying, let's take a look at the schedule. As I mentioned, only 2 more weeks after this one. Head to Long Beach next week, and then we're going to wrap things up under a few lights at Barcelona. Should be an interesting one there in the dark.
We're not taking next week off, Rob. May 25th, right. Long Beach.
Oh, there we go.
Everybody works on the holidays.
We're going to head to the beach for the long weekend in the down south, Rich. So we'll see how many drivers show up for that one. If they're had a few too many wobbly pops before they get onto the rig, it might be a little interesting racing. But speaking of racing and points, Hall, let's take a look at our points. In the pro side of things, Brock Morris leading the way, 350 points ahead of Marshall Crocker Jr., with Alex Jacobson not too far back. Over in Pro-Am, Fernando Rosario leading the way, with strong lead right now for him over Anthony Bronco and Matt Mars. Only 2 points separating them for second place. So it looks like still something up for grabs there. Dustin Wells leading the AM championship. He has had a massive lead at the start of the season to about halfway point, Rich, but kind of falling back the last few weeks. Alexander Berger and Cody Deek slowly reeled him in, and Broughton Jones not too far back there either. But that's how things are looking on the driver's side of the points. How are things looking over on the team side, Rich?
team side is a lot closer. I mean, a lot closer. Threshold Motorsports with a very, very slim 1-point lead over Iron Horse Motorsports. FR Racing just 9 points back. So this is for the taking. It's anybody's championship.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds as we head into the last couple of weeks. But in the middle of qualifying right now, currently Brock Morris leading the way in qualifying here, Rich. But Marshall Crocker Jr., the guy who's trying to get as many points as possible here to try and get himself up into championship contention, currently sitting in 8th place. That's not a qualifying position he's going to be happy with. It looks like all of our drivers have put in their mandatory laps here. We're just waiting for the clock to tick over to finish this one up here, Rich. So right now it looks like, I said that Marshall Crocker at the last second on his final lap has jumped up into 3rd place. So there he is. There he's ready to put some pressure ready to put some pressure on Brock Morris.
Yeah, it's those points do not include a drop week. There is a drop week, so I think the battle is a little tighter than the standings may lead us to believe. It's going to be a real interesting finish to the season between those two drivers.
Yeah, we'll see what unfolds there. We pick up Matt Mars. He's got a interesting paint here this evening. He's moved away from the candies here, Rich, and the chocolates into a little bit of fast food sandwich action with the Chick-fil-A, Mercedes-Benz, and the I always love the cows with the eat more chicken signs. That gets me every single time.
You know, I meant to grab some munchies here for the broadcast, Rob, and Matt's done it to me again. I could go for a chicken sandwich right now.
So we got about 20 seconds left to go in qualifying here. Again, all of our drivers have officially logged their laps, so pretty much where you see there is where they're going to be starting. Rich, Portimao, a track that if anybody's ever watched my video I did back probably a couple months ago, I think it was in between seasons, of what tracks I thought were better than others as far as a broadcast angle. Portimao was one of them that was right up there at the sharp end of the field with the elevation changes, a lot of fast sweeping corners. It lends itself well to racing. But qualifying done here, let's rewrap things here, Rich, and head on over to the grid.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the cars to drive up, and starting on pole, Brock Morris with Alec Jacobson in 2nd. Row number 2, Marshall Crocker Jr. with Chris Lashbrook. In row 3, we've got Fernando Rosario and Anthony Barranco. Row 4, we've got Kyle Mavis and Jacob Dick. In row 5, rounding out our top 10, we've got Alexander Zugig and Adam Brady.
Row 6 is we're going to find the Chick-fil-A machine of Matt Mars with Anthony Sorrentino to his outside. Row 7, we're going to see Chase Matsko and Jay Davis in 13th and 14th place. Row 8, rounding out the top 15 is Aaron Hatter, and then Dustin Wells going to start in 16th place. Row 9 is where we find Adam Lowe and Broughton Jones. Then rounding out our top 20, Jacob Williams and Faraz Ibrahim.
But there's more, folks. We've got 21st, Jeremy Eshelman and Aaron Stevens in 22nd. On row 12, we've got Nicholas Tucker and Alexander Berger. Rounding out the field tonight, we got Mark Osier and Cody Deek.
26-car grid. Looks like we're just waiting for Barranco and Ibrahim to grid up here, Rich. We'll start our pace lap. Looks like we're doing a full pace lap here this evening, so our drivers will have plenty of time to get the tires up to temp here, Rich. And speaking of temps, why don't we take a look at the weather conditions here this evening. No rain in the forecast. I had a look earlier, but 95% humidity, which is going to look fairly foggy out there. The driver's going to have to make sure they get the air conditioning on there so their windshields don't fog up, Rich.
Yeah, kind of like it was here this afternoon, Rob, to be honest with you, until we've got a typhoon going up in the broadcast area, folks. So we're going to do our best to stay live on the air, but yeah, a little bit humid there. But the nice thing with the long pace lap here, drivers get a chance to get the tires warmed up, and we get a chance to kind of look at this track a little bit, look at all the elevation changes. There's a ton of them. You look at the sweeping corners, like this turn 1, 2, 3, you know, the first couple of corners, just a nice flowing rhythm section. You get that right and it feels so good, but it's tough to get it right. It flows so well. And then you've got the technical sections coming up. Take a look at Brock Morris making the bend around turn 2, you know, weaving back and forth, trying to get those tires heated up.
Yeah, he's going to try and push the pace car, trying to get Barney, the pace car driver, to pick up a little bit more pace there on the pace lap. Wants to get extra heat in those tires, Rich, but Barney is a stubborn guy. He's not going to fall for that. He's going to hold on to his pace speed here. So it'll be interesting here this week. Wide open Formula Grade 1, FIA Grade 1 Formula 1 type track. Actually, the Portugal, when they come here for Formula 1, this is the track they run on. But we're going to head to the tight confines of Long Beach next week. Drastically different tracks back to back here, Rich. I know Long Beach, a track you love, always a fan favorite, or sorry, I shouldn't say fan favorite, always a broadcast favorite. Long Beach, the street circuit's always big for great racing or excitement, one or the other.
Yeah, that's definitely it. And certainly a lot flatter. I like this little section here. I always think of the Capitol building, the Capitol Records building, when I see this building here on the background. It's kind of a circular, just like a little squattier version of it. But it's certainly not. We're in Portugal in the a little bit foggy conditions with all that humidity, as you were expecting, Rob. You should be a meteorologist as a side gig.
Well, I've always got my head in the clouds, I was told as a kid, Rich, so maybe I should have been maybe I should have been the local weatherman and put that to better use. But we've got the field in around the pace car waiting to go. It's like we got pro drivers occupying the top 4 spots. Our top Pro-Am driver, Fernando Rosario, and have Kyle Mavis in behind him, and then our top AM driver, Aaron Hatter. I don't think we've seen Aaron all season, but he's a part of the Oath Racing team, who they haven't registered any points this season. They signed up earlier, put their team together, but we haven't seen them out much this season. So we'll see if they can pick up some points here, Rich, this evening.
I think they're getting some, Rob. I think they're getting some tonight. Coming around here, turn 13. It's a 15-turn circuit, and once we get by here, we're coming around just a couple more corners to go. The pace car is going to pull off. Brock Morris is going to have control of the field.
As Morris will have Alex Jacobson to his outside, who, since getting promoted into the pro class, what was it, about 3 or 4 weeks ago now here, Rich, he's kind of lost his dominant ways. He's qualified well, but the races just haven't went his way. We'll see if maybe he can turn that luck around here. I believe it was last week he put it on pole at Silverstone in the rain, and then he was in a lap 1 or 2. Unfortunately, had that incident and dropped way back here, Rich.
Yeah, he's had pace to have a few wins this season and just hasn't managed to close any of them out. Pace car's off. Brock Morris looking for the green flag, and this 26-car field will get going. Barney standing there, pace car driver Barney, all the way up in the flag tower, folks. And they're going real slow here. I guess that's not the flagman. I guess they had to wait. Here we go. There we go, folks. We got Brock Morris on the inside. We're going 3, 4 wide. We got Alex Jacobson around the outside. Brock Morris on the inside. Alex Jacobson, Brock Morris side by side. Marshall Crocker Jr. also side by side with Chris Lashbrook. Great action through the first couple of corners.
Yeah, it looks like Jacobson was...
no.
Lashbrook is around. Looks like he might have lost the front bumper. I think Netcode might have gave it back to him here. It looks like it's put it back on, but he's lost a couple of spots here right now. But Jacobson again here, Rich, falling down through the field 2 weeks in a row. Unfortunate for Alex Jacobson. He just can't find a break.
No, that's rather unfortunate for him, and we'll see how he battles back through this, but that ruins any chance of his first victory being tonight. Meanwhile, up at the front, Brock Morris, it got himself a little bit of gap, over a second to Marshall Crocker Jr., up to second. So the 2 Pro Championship leaders kind of breaking away from the rest of the field, because Marshall Crocker Jr. is 2 seconds ahead of Adam Brady.
Yeah, both of them taking advantage of that mistake by Eshelman, which kind of backed up the field a little bit, dropped Adam Brady, but actually, I shouldn't say dropped, Adam Brady took massive advantage of that, up 7 spots now in the 3rd place. Our top Pro-Am driver, so nice run there for Adam Brady.
That's for sure. And yeah, that was Jacobson actually with the issue. With same paint, same team as Eshelman. But,
goes
oh
Brady.
no, Adam Brady, we got to stop talking about people, Rob, because every time we do, something happens. Fortunately, gathers that 4 back up, gets the wheels pointed in the right direction, but lost a couple of positions. He's going to lose one more here.
Yeah, he's going to battle. He's going to battle with Broughton Jones. Ooh, 3 wide going down the front straight. Jones, Brady, and Matsko. So those 2 Mercedes trying to capitalize on that wounded Mustang. It looks like Brady going to hold them off into turn 1. Here you go, as you mentioned, Rich. Long, sweeping, fast corner, turn 1. You bring it out wide, then bring it right back in for turn 2. I just love that section of corners there, but you nail those inside curbs. Your car gets unsettled really bad and off into the wall. Well, I shouldn't say the wall. You got a lot of runoff here, but off into the kitty litter you go.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's for sure. Unfortunately, it looks like Anthony Branco in the pits. Nicholas Tucker in the pits. Dustin Wells all having early issues. So Branco back out now, but well down and well back, and that's too early to take the mandatory fuel stop. So he's going to have to come in once more to get this race finished.
For sure. We see Fernando Rosario looking up the inside of Alexander Zugig. I don't think Rosario has been driving a Porsche all season, has he? I think he switched cars this evening, Rich, into the Porsche 911. I think he's usually been driving the Mercedes, he and Lashbrook in the FR Racing team, but he's going door to door right now with Jacob Dick, another driver who had a rough race last week at Silverstone, looking to come back this week in the Red Bull Verstappen.com liveried Mercedes. You know, whether you're a fan of Verstappen or Red Bull or not, that is a sharp looking paint job on that Mercedes.
Heck yeah. I'm more of a Monster Energy drink guy, but in terms of my liveries and my my drivers, yeah, I'm there with you, Jacob. So taking a look here at Jacob Dick is coming around. You can see the elevation change come over the crest of the hill, and there's a lot of blind corners here. You don't know where your braking marker is. You don't know where your turn in is because you're changing elevations. You're cresting a hill. You've got to do your turn in, and you don't know what's up ahead of you. Just take a look at them coming down this straightaway. Big deep step, and here we go through turn 1, swinging way out wide, get it up top, nice up close to the curb, but not on the curb, as Rob was saying. Now you got to let up. Now you got to hit some brakes once again, using all of the track and trying to get the maximum exit speed you can as we come up by, as I'll call it, the Capitol Records building here, Rob.
That name might stick, Rich. We'll have to use that for broadcast going forward, and to see Rosario was able to make that move on Lashbrook into the inside. So Fernando Rosario now back to where he qualified after falling down a couple spots early on. But we got a minute here, Rich. Let's take a look and see what happened to Jacobson early on there, where he just got loose and got tagged. Or sorry, that was him. That was Lashbrook in behind. But Eshelman just thought, sorry, Jacobson. I keep getting the mixed up here. Jacobson just got loose, early cold tires, and around he went.
Yeah, that was, it didn't look like anybody else was anywhere near him. So take a look here at Fernando Rosario. He's our championship leader. And I believe the rules are in FMA, Rob, that the amateurs can switch cars as they want, manufacturers, without penalty, but the pros have to stick to the same manufacturer for the season. Let's take a look at J.R. Davis. J.R. Davis kind of spun around here, getting it back underway.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to get that corrected since there was a solo spin there for Jay. Down one spot, so he's going to lose a number of spots. But Brock Morris continued to lead in the way. He's opened up 2.4 seconds now over Marshall Crocker Jr. Those are our top 2 competitors in the GT3 Pro class here, Rich. So Morris doing what he needs to do to hold on to his championship lead coming into this one. But as you said, things might be a little closer than what it looked at the standings when we looked at it, factoring in that they hadn't taken and applied the drop week, the 1 drop week they're allowed this season.
Yeah, well, that's going on. Kyle Mavis up 4 positions, first place in amateur, so he's having himself a solid effort. He's 3rd overall. He's on the podium, so that's where we've seen Fernando Rosario the last several weeks. But Kyle Mavis right now getting it done in that Mustang. That all said, Fernando Rosario now seems to have things. He's figured out the pace. He's just under 2 seconds back and starting to close a little bit. So we'll see how this goes as the race progresses.
As we see our GT3 Pro-Am class in focus there. 9 drivers in class this evening. As you mentioned, Rosario starting to reel back in Mavis. That Porsche looking real strong here at Algarve, a track that really suits it well. The twisty sections, fast flowing twisty tracks, really the Porsche's bread and butter. Where the Mustang, you know, as we've seen time and time again, it's more of a straight line monster. It doesn't necessarily like to turn left and right all that often.
It doesn't, but I don't know. Kyle's doing a great job, and it has his Marshall Crocker Jr. But interesting, we've got a Corvette, a Chevy in first, 2 Fords, a Porsche, and then a whole string of Mercedes, and that's rather unusual. Usually we see a pretty good mix here, but Mercedes certainly, you know, basically sitting from 5th all the way down to 8th place right now.
As we pick up Anthony Sorrentino making the move on the inside of the Chick-fil-A Mercedes of Matt Mars, which is now missing its front bumper, so he's going to be down a little bit on straight line speed, and I'm not sure why Sorrentino driving around permanently with his headlights flashing there, Rich. I wonder if he maybe got a bug on his steering wheel on his rig, but it's like non-stop going. It's like his car has Tourette's or something.
Yeah, I think he's got the wrong button bound. Maybe it's bound to his throttle pedal. Let's see if they turn off when he brakes, because that can be even if you look at the back, it's also flashing there. So anyhow, that's a little well, it would be distracting for me. I'm never looking behind, Rob. I'm looking ahead. You don't look behind, folks. You only look behind if you're worried. You know, he's not worried right now. Is Chase, and we're going to call him once more every week, once at least. Chase Matsuko sitting there. Currently Chase in 8th place. He's up 5 positions, so a solid start to today.
Yeah, nice run for Chase. Running a little bit more of a generic paint scheme than what we're used to seeing him. Usually he's got one of those fancy Wraps by Matt paints on his car, but so he's gone with more of a pearl white and a little bit of I'm going to call that like
camo.
80s, early 90s retro paint there, Rich.
It's Miami Vice. Pastel colors, doesn't it?
Matsuko right now 5th in class, looking to chase down Broughton Jones up ahead, who is our top AM driver. He's got himself up 11 positions here, Rich, into 7th overall. What a race it's shaping out to be for Broughton Jones right now.
Yeah, he's taken advantage of the early misfortunes, the early incident, but he's also made some moves on his own, because he didn't make up 11 positions, and 11 people didn't go off track. So Broughton Jones on a heater here tonight, folks. We're only on lap 6. We're going to go about 26, maybe 27 laps tonight. 45-minute timed race. Pit stop still to come, but so far so good for Broughton Jones.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to hold it together for another 35 minutes to go. And this one still, as we've seen early on, still plenty of time for lots of stuff to happen here, Rich. But you know what? We've got a battle a little farther back here between Aaron Siebens, Cody Deek, and Alex Berger. Siebens right now in the Porsche, watching that battle between Deek and Berger up ahead. While they battle, though, that's allowing Adam Lowe and Jacob Williams to sneak back into this one too as well. That's 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th place, only separated by about a second and a half on track.
It's one nice thing here. We've got all different levels of drivers in terms of skill and pace, and there's something for everyone here, folks, at FMA. So you want to do some racing, we take a look at Matt Mars. Matt Mars continuing to battle on here in that heavily damaged car of his, but Jeremy Ashleman, see, Jeremy's a little different paint job, a little back to what we're kind of more used to out of Jeremy. Jeremy battling side by side with Matt, finally getting by, and Jeremy Ashleman moving on up.
Yeah, Jay Davis and Alex Jacobson going to try and take advantage too as well. Jacobson on that recovery run from that spin early on, but looks like right now Matt Mars with that front bumper missing, he's just getting eaten up by all these drivers on the straight, Rich. It's you know, not really all that surprising. You lose the aero. These cars don't have a ton of aero, but the little bit that they do have, it all starts at the front end of the car. You basically you're like pushing a big wind wall around with all the air going directly into the front of that car instead of being flowed up and around it. So Matt Mars probably down a good 5 to 10 mile an hour on the front straight, and that's where we really see these McLarens and the other Mercedes of Jay Davis really taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I think he's got that front end open up so he can get those Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches just in there quicker. But take a look at that, diving up the inside there on Broughton Jones was Tony Sorrentino. So Tony Sorrentino He's up 4 positions now. He's up to 8th place, so also having a good day. You know who's having a really great day, though? Jeremy Eschliman up 11 positions, as is Cody Deek. So a couple of players up double digits. So Jeremy Eschliman hasn't had the best couple of last few weeks, but you know, he's brought sponsors to two of the races this season. Maybe that's just been bad luck, because it looks like he's got some pace now here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to hold it together. He, as you mentioned, up 11 spots, only 1 spot in class. So taking advantage of a lot of the AM drivers a little farther back in the field, and then some of our Pro-Am drivers who have had unfortunate races here with Zugig out, Hatter out, Wells. Looks like Barranco, he was in the pits for a while, but he's back out on track, but down 17 positions from where he started. So probably not the race he was envisioning when he pulled the car off the trailer here at Portimao in Portugal.
Yeah, and Alexander Zugig, we haven't seen him, I don't think, this season. If we have, it was early on in the season. He's had his issues as well, down 15 positions, a little bit of 30 seconds in the pits. We take a look at Crystal Ashbrook coming in. Looks like, I think the pit window should be about open, so he should be able to get maybe some damage repaired, get his fuel done, and without incurring an extra stop.
Yeah, we'll see where he cycles back out into the thick of things, but looks like Anthony Sorrentino has caught Chase Matsuko now. That's a battle for 6th and 7th overall, 4th and 5th in class. So we'll see if Chase is able to hold off the charge of Sorrentino. They've got Jacob Dick 9 seconds up the track, so they're going to need to hustle here to chase him down and potentially get themselves into a top 5 overall position. But again, a guy who's been hustling since the drop of the green flag is our leader, Brock Morrison, continues to open up that gap over Marshall Crocker. Only a tenth or two here or there, but slowly getting up into the 3-second mark, and now holding 6 seconds over Kyle Mavis. But Kyle Mavis, our top Pro-Am driver, up 4 spots a day into 3rd overall. Nice run shaping up for him, and that's also a nice points haul for the Iron Horse Motorsports team, with Crocker and Mavis both being on that team, currently sitting 2nd and 3rd overall.
Yeah, it is, and while that's going on, though, Fernando Rosario didn't have his best qualifying effort, but he's closed right up on the gap, so he's closing in on Kyle Mavis. So Rosario now just over a second behind. He was 2.5 seconds just a couple of laps back, so right now pace advantage looks like it's going to Rosario.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to continue to chase down that Mustang up ahead. We saw Rosario put some nice moves on earlier on to recover back his lost positions from lap 1. So he's shown he has the pace here, Rich. He's up 1 spot from where he qualified, but was down as far as, I think, 7th or 8th at one point in time. Had to work his way back up. The driver from the Dominican Republic looking strong early on as he tries to chase down that Mustang. Continuing on a little farther back, Sorrentino still hasn't found a way around Matsuko. Still trying to find a way there. Jacob Williams and Aaron Siemens battle it out. See if Matsuko is able to hold off Tony the Tiger. But speaking of making moves, Matt Maher's going to lose another spot here as Alexander Berger looking to the inside. Maher's trying to fight back, but I think if the pit window is open right now, if I'm Matt Maher's, and I'm sure somebody's probably told him by now, he's lost the front bumper on that thing, I think I would pop in, use my quick repair, or actually I don't have quick repair, but they should be able to slap a bumper on there in about 5 to 8 seconds or so while he's in the pits, get that fixed up, try and minimize the damage he's got going right now as far as losing positions.
Yeah, even if it takes an extra 20 seconds to put on a front bumper, that he's losing that time. And he'll lose more than that time as the race progresses. The only time they have had a quick free repair was at last week's Silverstone rain race. The race director being very generous in allowing drivers to get some repairs with no time penalty due to the very damp conditions.
Moderately moist, I think, is what we were going with, Rich. As you see, Mars and Berger heading onto the front straight. We'll see what kind of run here Berger's able to get with that undamaged car. It looks like compared to the Porsches, looks like Mars and that Mercedes able to hold off the Porsches, but the McLarens and the Mustangs, which are generally known as a little bit more of a straight line weapon, looks like they're easily able to move around that wounded chicken wagon of Matt Mars. So we'll see if he's able to hold off the charge from Berger. But this battle back here between Williams and Siemens has now picked up Faraz Ibrahim on the back of them now. So 3-car battle for 16th, 17th, and 18th, which is also 4th, 5th, and 6th in our AM class. Speaking of AM class, let's take a look and see how things are currently going in AM. We see Broughton Jones leading the way. Alexander Berger holding the fast lap for the class. Cody D currently sitting in the final podium position in class. And then we go back a little bit to this battle we're focusing on now with Siemens, Williams, and Ibrahim. And then I believe Tucker and Hatter Tucker's still on track, but Hatter and Wells out early on. Dustin Wells, as we mentioned it off the top, Rich, second half of the season hasn't boded real well for our AM championship leader coming into this one.
You know, Cody Deek has been, he's just been sneaking up in there. Never at the front of the field, but he had some difficult moments early on in the season, but his consistency as the season has progressed has just gotten better and better, and that's allowed him to really move up there in the battle for the points. As we take a look at this battle here, Jeremy Eshelman and Broughton Jones. So Jeremy Eshelman up 12 positions now. His teammate Alex Jacobson on a recovery run somehow is all the way up to 7th, Rob. So Broughton Jones getting covered off here by Jeremy Eshelman. Broughton Jones realizing this isn't his race right now. Nice lines he's taking, though. Really closing the gap up on Eshelman through there.
Yeah, Broughton Jones, our AM leader. As we just saw, a bit of a gap over Alexander Berger and Cody Deek, second and third in class. So as you mentioned, nothing really for him to push the limits there with Eshelman, although they do get points based on their overall position, not in class. So he doesn't want to lose too many positions, but he's got a buffer with Jay Davis and Matt Mars in between them, where he can afford to let Eshelman by, don't really battle with him, and that way both drivers don't lose time, they continue pushing forward. But yeah, as you mentioned, Alex Jacobson on that recovery run, still down 5 spots where he qualified in 7th place here right now, but he's showing us why he put that car up on the second row to start this race here, Rich. He's got a ton of pace.
Yeah, he's had a ton of pace all season long. Something's happened every single week. I mean, he's finished as high as 2nd overall, I believe, but he's really had the pace to have a few victories. So even some of the other drivers are just commenting about waiting for Alex Jacobson to get his due, so to speak. On the inset here, whoa, we got a little bit of battling going up behind Aaron Siemens. We had Jacob Williams and Faraz Abraham still battling it out. These 3 drivers kind of going side by side, all kinds of race action. On the big screen, though, Matt Mars continuing to drive that wounded car around. That was Cody Deek getting by right there. So Matt Mars is now finally ducking into the pits. Fuel window is open. Matt Mars coming in and saying, "I've had enough of this. Let's get a new grill so we can eat that chicken better."
Gonna put his dentures back in so he can chew on the chicken breast. That's what he needs there. So, we'll see what kind of pace he has when he comes back in. As we saw last week, Mars had that spectacular run going at Silverstone in the rain. He was by far the fastest car on track in the final, I'm going to say 25% of the race, and then unfortunately was pushing too hard, had that spin, and fell down the standings. So he was probably looking for a better result in this one, Rich, but you know what, still plenty of time to go. We've got just about half of the race or so left, and anything can happen, as we've seen early on.
That's for sure. As we take a look, continue to follow around the amateur leader. That's an interesting livery of Broughton Jones' car. Jay Davis in behind him. So Broughton Jones, solid race so far. 10th overall, up 8 positions on the day. And his next nearest competitor is a ways back, and that would be 2 places back is Alexander Berger. Alexander Berger is probably about 5 seconds off behind him. So right now, Broughton Jones commanding lead in the amateur.
Yeah, there we go. Alexander Berger about 5.2 seconds back of Broughton Jones, but only half a second up with Cody Deek. But they've got a comfortable gap over Aaron Siemens, so we're top 3 in AM class, fairly solid. Let's take a look over at Pro-Am, where Kyle Mavis still leading the way, but we see Fernando Rosario now, Rich, has that gap under a second, and continue to watch that time tick down as Rosario putting the pressure really laying those quick laps to close in on Kyle Mavis. They've got 28 seconds over Jay Davis in third place, who has another 8 seconds over Adam Lowe in Adam Lowe in fourth place in class. So things starting to shape out a little bit here in the classes. We'll see how it goes as the race carries on. But Rosario looking like the fast man in class here the last couple laps.
Yeah, you know, I'm not surprised at all. I expected Rosario to be right up there in the top three. He wasn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he was fifth, so there's nothing wrong with that. But as this race progresses, his confidence and his pace improves dramatically. And I believe when we were talking to him last week, he was rather new to this track. So obviously, as the laps progress, his experience progresses. And right now, all over the back of Kyle Mavis, this is going to be a real interesting fight.
We have a battle for top spot in Pro-Am on the big screen, and then we've got Alex Jacobson still in that recovery run as he's now caught up to Chase Masco. That's for 6th and 7th overall, 4th and 5th in the pro class. As we see Kyle Mavis going to quickly try and relieve that pressure. He pops into the pits and says, you know what, I've seen those times Rosario's been putting in. I'm not even going to bother losing time battling him. Pop into the pits, probably a wise choice there. We'll see where he comes back out, but Rosario going to continue to push forward. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Crocker or Morris as they've got a comfortable 10 and 12 second gap over him, but looking comfortable at the sharp end of the Pro-Am class for Rosario, and that would be final step on the podium in the overall scheme of things here, Rich.
Yeah, Jacobson in that McLaren on that recovery run, I mean, he's just drifting the car over some of the corners. I saw him going sideways on the inset earlier, and he's really heating up those tires. So hopefully he's got a little bit of traction left as we're into the second half of this race. Hopefully he hasn't used up all those tires in this battle, and he's got a little bit left because his pace has been quite good of late.
Yeah, you mentioned those tires. We just saw him go deep through that corner there. Matsko was almost close enough to stick the nose up the inside, so we definitely know he's pushing. I'm wondering if he's going to take front tires here, Rich. I think they've got a long enough fuel stop where he could probably take front tires if he's really pushing that hard, trying to get back up into his qualifying position here. He might be burning those tires up. As we had a look earlier at the track temps weren't all that high, but the humidity level was fairly high, which means the track's going to be a little bit greasy. Let's take a check in here at the conditions to see what they're looking at right now. It's a 68 degree air temp, still 75 on the track. Humidity level stayed pretty much the same, so track surface is going to be fairly greasy. It'll be easy to cause a lot of friction on those front tires.
Yeah, Fernando Rosario now in the pit, so we'll see where he comes out relative to Kyle Mavis. And you know, if you're going to take tires, I really think you want to come in sooner rather than later, because it's going to take another lap and a half, 2 laps to get those fronts back up and heated up. So you want to take full advantage of them. So interesting to see when Alex Jacobson decides to come in and if he does take tires, because like I said, he's been heating them up basically from lap 1 on in this recovery mission.
As we follow on board here with Chase Matsko, who got passed by Jacobson about 2 laps ago. Looks like he's been picking up a couple of pointers here, Rich. Jacobson hasn't really been able to pull away from him. Matsko has picked up the pace here a little bit. I believe he ran his second quickest lap last time by using the draft of Jacobson. So wise move here. Let Jacobson through. Faster driver, you know, coming up behind you. Try and find those pointers. Find where he's getting in and out of the corner a little quicker. Maybe he's got a little different brake marker than you. Maybe he's not quite turning in as quick as you. Maybe arcing in a little later. So we'll see if Matsko able to keep using that as Jeremy Eschelman, Jacobson's teammate, is now 8 seconds back of him, and we know Eschelman has a ton of pace, up 15 spots right now.
Yeah, Chase Matsko of Admin Advantage along with Matt Mars. I'm not sure who else. Hey folks, FMA is a free league to race in, so if you want, there they are. These are the people who run the league, and they also race in the league. So it's a free league to race in. Everything is by donation. Everything's by sponsorship. So they allow sponsored races. They accept donations. That's what pays to put on the races, put on the broadcast. So great job by the Admin Advantage team and giving these guys and these drivers a place to race. We're going back up the front, and guess what, Rob? Look at this. Kyle Mavis Kyle Mavis is behind Fernando Rosario now. So Rosario, his pace got quicker. His pit stop was marginally quicker, and now he's up top.
Rosario about 6/10, almost 7/10 quicker in and out of pit road than Mavis. So we'll see if Mavis is able to do the same thing that Matsko did. Lurk in behind that driver, find where they're being a little quicker. But right now, it looks like Mavis is going to be a worthy competitor here to Rosario to take the Pro-Am win. Then he's got his teammate Anthony Bronco right in behind him. Bronco yet to complete his pit stop. So we mentioned it early on, Iron Horse Motorsports had a strong showing going for those drivers. As we see Marshall Crocker Jr. sitting in second place, Kyle Mavis currently third in class with Anthony Bronco fourth in class. So those two Pro-Am drivers looking sharp right now, but as I mentioned, Bronco still owes us a pit stop. And then their AM driver, Jacob Williams, currently fifth in class. So again, a potential nice points haul for the Iron Horse Motorsports team.
Yeah, I'm not, and you know what, Rob, I'm not going. Brock Morris now into the pits. We'll see if Marshall Crocker Jr. is also in, so the pit window must be ending. I'm not counting Marshall Crocker Jr. out of this, Rob. He's about 2.5 seconds back of Brock Morris. This pit stop's still to go, but Crocker Jr. seems to be not losing any pace as the race goes on. We'll see what happens in the last 17 minutes.
Maybe the battle of the pit crews here is. I'm actually surprised Crocker Jr. was able to close the gap up that much before they came in for service here, Rich. As he came in, I don't know, probably about a second or so, second and a half back of Morris, but that gap had almost been up to about 3 seconds a few laps ago last time we checked in on them. So we'll see who gets off pit road here first. Almost looks like identical pit stops here for these two drivers as the Ford Mustang pace car just got rear-ended by Brock Morris, but thankfully he able to just teleport through him. But they might have had to make a claim and call Geico for some insurance.
Yeah, Crocker Jr. picking up about half a second in the pit stop. Losing a little bit of time here right now, though. He's just under 2 seconds behind Brock Morris. So that'll be the race for the lead once everybody's made the scheduled stop. Alex Jacobson, the man who went basically to last on lap 1 right at the beginning, is currently our race leader, but he's still got to stop and get fuel.
Yeah, he just wanted that. I can't remember if they hand out bonus points for leading a lap or not in this league, Rich. I don't know if you remember off the top of your head. So maybe you just wanted to stay out to get that extra bonus point for leading a lap or not, which, you know what, if that is the case, always a wise move. But he's got 1.3 seconds to chase Matsko. So Matsko was trying to hang with him, starting to fall back a little bit. We know Jacobson going to lose approximately about 45 seconds to 50 seconds once he comes in for his fuel stop, which right now looks like it'll put him somewhere back in around, looks like 8th or 9th place. Once he comes out, that could be right in the middle of that Kyle Mavis, Anthony Bronco, Fernando Rosario battle.
Yeah, and while that was going on, Matt Mars did 32 seconds in his stall, so I'm guessing Matt Mars got a little bit of the damage repaired. Not all of it, though, folks. The car has looked better, but Matt Mars is battling on.
I'm surprised they didn't slap a new bumper on for 30-second pit stop. Normally you would think they'd be able to throw at least a semi-damaged bumper back on there, so Matt Mars might have a little bit of beef with his pit crew after the race here, Rich. I don't know if they're pulling the old days that's under Harry Hogg, eating popsicles and ice cream on the pit box and weren't ready for him, but we'll see if he's able to move up through the field, as now the last of our drivers, Jacobson, Matsko, and Eshelman, have come in for their fuel stops. That's going to put the full cycle through the field. Now we got the final 14 minutes to go to see who's going to reign on top.
Yeah, who's going to reign on top? And it's going to be Chevy versus Ford in Portugal. That's not a normal circumstance for the streets of Portugal, but that's what's happening here on the racetrack. And right now, Brock Morris, just about 2.25 second lead over Marshall Crocker Jr. Fernando Rosario is open up about a 2-second gap to Anthony Branco. Kyle Mavis is falling back 6 seconds behind him. So we got first and second are pros, third, fourth, and fifth are pro-ams. Right now, Brock Morris kind of liking this, I think. Now he's coming up to lap traffic of Marc Aussier. So I think Marc Aussier let him get by pretty quickly once he gets a little bit closer.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see Crocker actually fall back to close to about 3 seconds again off the back of Brock Morris. He done so much work there before the pit stop, Rich, to really close that gap, but it looks like Morris quickly opening back up. It was almost 2.8 seconds before he came into the final corner where the Mustang really stretches his legs. You see Crocker Jr. in the background coming up over the hill. Looked like the front wheels were almost about to come off the ground at one point in time there, Rich. Do a little skyward jumping with that Mustang. But we take a look at the pro class. As you mentioned, Morris and Crocker lead the way, but 30 seconds back to our third place pro driver, Alex Jacobson. And then Matsko another 2.2 seconds back him. Jacob Dick right in there too as well. So our top 5 in pro class. A little bit of a gap there. Looks like the top 2 really the class of the field tonight.
Yeah, well, if Jacobson, the man, just hold on for that podium in pro, and now he's just moved up another position. He's up to 5th overall. I'm sure he's going to be disappointed, but that's a heck of a comeback and a good way of showing that he doesn't give up. He doesn't quit. There's no quit in this man. Alex Jacobson, problems early on, but battling on. He's only down 3 positions. He's all the way up to 5th. He's up on the podium in the pro class, so solid effort from Alex Jacobson.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to pick up any more spots. Going to need some help from Rosario or Mavis to get himself up into the potential overall position, but Rosario continues to open up that gap over Mavis now. That gap's sitting at about 7 seconds, so I'm not sure what happened to Kyle Mavis, but lost a ton of time here to Rosario. We saw it earlier when they came out of both finished their fuel cycle or pit cycle, Rich, that Mavis was right there, only a couple tenths in behind him, but since that point in time, fallen back to 7.6 seconds back now of Rosario.
That's what I was saying earlier. The Dominican driver there, I don't think he'd done a whole lot of work here until, as of last week. So as this race progresses, Fernando Rosario is showing while he's up top of the Pro-Am standings. Just an incredible effort. And right now he's sitting down lap times that are the same as Marshall Crocker Jr. just up ahead of him.
Yeah, what could have been potentially for Rosario if he wouldn't have had that issue on lap 1 where he lost a number of spots. Maybe he would have been able to break away with Morris and Crocker, and maybe they would have had a 3-car battle up top. But we see on the inset Jacob Dick trying to take away that spot from Chase Matsko. That's 6th and 7th place, which also equates to 4th and 5th in pro. So final spots in the top 5 for those pro drivers at large here. We'll see if Matsko able to hold off the charge from Jacob Dick, but right now Fernando Rosario, the hot shoe of the race, but Brock Morris holding the quickest lap of the race, the only driver to dip into the 42s, Rich, with a 142.65 last time by.
Yes, well, he's not the only one in the 142s, but he's the only one right now, and because right now the fast lap of the race actually is Marshall Crocker Jr. at 142.0. So, but hey, I wonder, Rob, if we get hold of the producer and see if we could get our result or our standings by race class right now. I just wanted to point something out here, if that's possible. If we've got, there we go. Hey, folks, we got the best producers in the business here. Love these graphics. Get to see each of the divisions. Right now, Brock Morris, GT3 Pro leader. We've got Fernando Rosario leading the Pro-Am. We've got Alexander Berter, another solid effort, leading the GT3 AM class. But I really love those graphics. Whoever our producer is, Rob, I think he deserves a raise.
Yeah, that guy's a hack. As Brock Morris continues to lead the way, Jacob Dick and Chase Matsko still battling. Matsko going to go a little wide through the final corner. Dick tried to stick the nose up the inside, but wasn't able to find a spot. He's going to tuck in behind Matsko, try and get some of that sweet, sweet draft down the front straight here, Rich. So he was able to make the move into turn 1. I'm not sure he's going to get enough overrun. Looks like right now he's potentially content staying in behind Matsko right now. Maybe he needs to save a little bit of fuel. Having a look at Jacob Dick's pit stop. He shouldn't need any fuel saving. One of the longer stops in the stall, 22.55 seconds in the stall. That suggests to me potentially a tire change for Jacob Dick. So we'll see how that plays out with 8 minutes to go. He's going to have some fresher tires compared to Matsko, who was only in his box for 14 seconds. That's definitely not a 4-tire change, potentially maybe only 2 tires on the front, if any, for Matsko.
Yeah, the pit stops now. The tire should be up to temp. As we take a look at Jacob Dick, he's still applying pressure. Got real close, and that cost him a little bit of time. He wasn't able to get on the throttle as quickly as he wanted the last couple of corners. Chase Matsko and Jacob Dick continue to battle on 4th and 5th in Pro Division.
Yeah, and then you see on the inlay, we've got Anthony Bronco. He's got Adam Lowe in behind him. That's a battle. Excuse me, pardon me. That's a battle for 12th and 13th place overall, 4th and 5th in Pro-Am. So that's an interclass battle between those two. Alex Berger, our top AM driver, just kind of sitting back, watching what's going on there. Again, no real need for him to push the limit, but I'm wondering what happened. Broughton Jones, who was well ahead of the rest of the field before AM, leading our AM class, Rich, has fallen back into 3rd place.
Yeah, he was 22.5 seconds in his pit stall versus 13 and 15 of seconds of the guys ahead of him. So looks like that gamble didn't pay off. Whether that I'm guessing, like you said, that was probably some tires, and so far it doesn't look like it's paying off for Broughton Jones. We'll see as the race progresses, but we're running out of time here. There's only 7 minutes left. Jacob Dick, though, continuing to hound, continuing to just, place a little bit of pressure on Chase Matsko. So far, Chase Matsko up to the task, though.
And we'll see how long Matsko can endure that pressure of Jacob Dick. Only takes one mistake there, Rich. You spend a little more time looking in your mirrors, trying to see where that driver's going in behind you, and the next thing you know, you missed your brake marker, and that driver just gives the old "thank you very much," swoops over to the inside and takes that position away. So we'll see if Matsko able to withhold that pressure. But Eshelman now, speaking of pressure, getting some pressure from our 3rd place our Pro-Am driver, Jay Davis, the Warped Esports driver, currently sitting in 10th place. Eshelman in 9th. Both those drivers up a number of positions, but Eshelman up 12 spots on the day, with Davis up 4, and Matt Mars getting a black flag. I'm going to say that's probably for incident points.
I would guess we saw several off tracks, and with that nose damage, just really hard to arrive the proper lines they're used to. But Jay Davis right now up 4 positions, battling hard against Jeremy Eshelman. So Jay Davis, 3rd place in Pro-Am. And I don't know if we've talked to Jay, but that's a very, very solid race. And nice to see Jay Davis having some success this evening and this great battle with Eshelman.
Yeah, right now he's leading the team as far as pulling in points, 3rd in class. Siebens 5th in class, and Sorrentino 8th in class. So Sorrentino, we saw him racing early on. Again, another driver with a longer pit stop. He's fallen back through the field, unable to work his way back up so far. But Davis able to get around Eshelman. We'll see if he's able to pull away from him now. Try and utilize that straight line speed of the Mercedes. And now again, Rich, we got those 4 Mercedes lined up here again, one after the other on the timing tower.
Yeah, that's something we don't see a whole lot of, but obviously a lot of the drivers are really liking the Merc this week in this season, because of those 4 lined up, only one of them is an AM, and that's Jay Davis. So Jay Davis holding up Jeremy Eshelman, but he's got about 6 seconds up to Chris Lashbrook up ahead, so I don't think that's sustainable or reasonable. But at least he's got a great battle here with Eshelman if he can hold him off, and that will assure him a podium.
It most certainly will. And we see in the inlay, Matsko still able to hold off Jacob Dick. So I was kind of questioning how long Matsko was able to hold off Jacob, but right now looks like he's able to do it. He's got another 4 minutes and 40 seconds left of pressure to feel from Jacob. So we'll see if Matsko able to continue on. But these are our 2 closest battles on track right now, Rich. Everything else getting stretched out towards the end of the race.
Yeah, Brock Morse has got a 4 3/4 second gap over Marshall Crocker Jr. Fernando Rosario is about 13 seconds back. He's got about almost 9 seconds to Kyle Mavis. So not a whole lot of battling going up front, but we got definitely some battles in the mid-pack here. Jacob Dick, Chase Matsko going down the straightaway here. Man, there's not a flat section on this track, Rob. I don't think he can drive a couple hundred yards without having to go uphill or downhill.
And I don't know if a commentator cursed Matsko or not, but almost seconds after I said he's been able to hold off the pressure from Jacob Dick. Made one mistake, Dick capitalized, and away he went. So now Matt's going to have to try and find a way back around that Red Bull Verstappen.com liberated car of Jacob Dick up ahead. But they've got the McLaren of Alex Jacobson just up ahead of him. So something happened to Jacobson, lost a ton of time here. He's potentially might lose another spot. This is battle in class. 3 of our pro drivers, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in class, 5th, 6th, and 7th on the overall.
Something else, Anthony Baranko just put out blistering 142.3 laps, so good for him. Unfortunately, that earlier issue really costing him dearly, but Alex Jacobson, 5th place, down 3 positions. I mean, what a drive. Just what a drive he's had, and hopefully in one of the last 2 weeks of the season, he can put it all together and get that first win.
Yeah, he's got 2 weeks left to get that win since he's been promoted up into pro class. He's had the win in pro-am class a number of times, but just seeking that overall win just seems to elude him week after week here, Rich. Maybe the streets of Long Beach, one of the toughest tracks to get a clean race and snatch that victory. Maybe that'll be the week you can do it.
Well, it's hard to get an off track there, Rob, so I'm not expecting too many people to get black flags for incident points unless it's for contact, and generally speaking, if you've got contact, you've got damage. So take a look here at Jeremy Eshelman. Jeremy Eshelman didn't have his best qualifying effort, but certainly having a very solid race. He's up 11 positions, but he's kind of in a sandwich here with Jay Davis and Tony Sorrentino. Looks like Tony's got his lights fixed there, Rob.
Yeah, no more Tourette's on that machine, Rich, but you know what? I've gotten it off track at Long Beach before. I'm telling you, you hit that fountain quick enough. You hit that fountain quick enough, it'll send you off track and into the crowd, maybe into the H&M or the Nike store off on the side of the track, and you pick yourself up some shoes and a nice wedding outfit while you're there, Rich.
Well, but you also, if you hit it just right, you can skip part of the traffic and land right back on it, and maybe get yourself a quick lap time. Maybe a little bit of a slowdown. Let's take a look at Brock Morris coming around it. You get the white flag. Yes, he does. He's got the white flag. 1 lap left for Brock Morris with a 5-second lead over Marshall Crocker Jr. So Brock Morris, he's led this thing from the start. We're on lap 26. He's still leading it, folks.
Yeah, he's worked that gap up to 5 seconds over Marshall Crocker Jr. So Crocker Jr. did what he could, tried to close that gap before the pit cycle. Brock Morris said, no, you don't. And promptly went out and moved that gap back up, not only to where it was, but added another 2.5 seconds onto it, Rich. So we'll see that battle in the top of the overall championship plus the Pro-Am championship head into the final 2 weeks at Long Beach. Fernando Rosario sitting comfortably in 3rd place, 8 seconds ahead of Kyle Mavis, who's sitting comfortably ahead of Jay Davis in class, who's back in 9th place. So this might have been a strategic move for Kyle Mavis, let Rosario go, and then just sit comfortably here in 4th place overall, 2nd in class. Nothing really to cry at there for Kyle Mavis. Nice finish for him. Another driver who's had a couple unfortunate weeks back-to-back here.
Yeah, Kyle has definitely had some pace. He had some pace today as well, but like you said, hasn't always been able to finish cleanly, and this is definitely a clean race for Kyle, so nice to see him top 4 overall, 2nd in class. Nothing wrong with that as we take a look at Brock Morris. Brock Morris coming around here to finish off this race. Brock Morris having himself a fantastic effort, rounding the last corner, corner 15. He's coming down the straightaway. He's going to do a little celebration, folks. Brock Morris, our overall winner tonight at Portimao.
And the fireworks going off on the timing tower. Congrats to Brock Morris. Let's pick up Fernando Rosario, our 3rd place driver, going to finish up in top spot in Pro-Am as now he heads into the final few corners here, Rich, and down the front straight. Nice run for him. He's going to take home that class win. Excellent job for him. We got a battle here between Sorrentino, Eshelman, and Jay Davis. This is for 9th, 10th, and 11th place. We'll see how this one shapes out. Eshelman and Sorrentino in the same class. Davis is one of our Pro-Am drivers, so although he doesn't want to give up this position and lose the points here, Rich, He doesn't necessarily have much to battle with these two drivers, just more pride than anything else. But into the final corner they go. Davis going to lead the way. Eshelman in the Warped Esports sandwich here, but looks like Jay Davis going to hold off Eshelman for 9th place. Final step on the Pro-Am podium for them, as first Barney waving the checkered flag when second Barney was waving the green early on. So those two guys haven't figured out their system.
And he was driving the pace car apparently too. Jay Davis, congratulations. It's been a long time coming. You've had some rough ones, and a solid effort tonight. Taking a look at here at Alexander Berter. Alexander Berter going to take a victory in the amateur category. So our amateur class, congratulations, Alexander Berter. Cody Deek is in second place with Broughton Jones in third.
Yeah, and Aaron Siemens going to round out the pro class, finishing on the lead lap in 17th place. So a lot of drivers. Although the weather was nice here in Portugal for them, Rich, maybe the racing wasn't so much.
Well, that's true. You know those fireworks we had there earlier, when Brock crossed the finish line. On some of the tracks, they have actual fireworks, especially on the night races, folks. I've seen them many times, but usually I'm a half a lap from the finish line, and I'm like, what are these for? What are these for? And but Brock Morris, no stranger to fireworks. Just a little celebration, folks. Congratulations, Brock Morris, returning once again to victory lane.
And Morris going to take the win for week 10 of 12 here. 2 weeks left to go, but let's take a look at the official, unofficial, semi-official results here for this one. In the pro class, Brock Morris taking top spot over Marshall Crocker Jr. with Alex Jacobson running at the podium. Dick Matsko, Lashbrook, Eshelman, and Sorrentino going to round out the class. What do we got in Pro-Am, Rich?
In Pro-Am, Fernando Rosario once again. And Kyle Mavis in second. Jay Davis getting on the podium. We had Anthony Barranco and Adam Lowe rounding out your top 5.
And then over the AM side of things, we saw Alex Berter crossing the line, taking the win over Cody Deek and Broughton Jones. Siemens, Williams, Ibrahim, Tucker, Hatter, and Wells going to round out the field with Wells and Hatter out early on, down 26 and 23 laps respectively. So they'll be looking to regroup at Long Beach next week for week 11 here, Rich.
Yeah, Long Beach is going to be very, very interesting compared to the track we raced on tonight in Portugal.
For sure. Now, while the drivers are getting a drink of water, heading into the interview room here, Rich, give us a little bit of your thoughts from the race tonight at Portugal.
Well, it's been an interesting season so far between, in the pro category especially. Whoever gets out front seems to, there's always a few second gap. Now, some weeks it'll be Marshall Crocker Jr., some weeks it'll be Alex Jacobson, some weeks it'll be Brock Morris. But the 1 and 2 cars typically aren't real close together, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens next week at Long Beach, whether we're going to have a little tighter finish. And we certainly had a lot tighter racing in the mid-pack, as we saw. But the front, somebody always seems to get out to a little bit of a gap over the rest of the field.
You're absolutely nailed that one, Rich. But speaking of Brock Morris, you mentioned it. Let's bring in our race winner for week 10, who's catching up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, congratulations, Brock. Back to victory lane.
Absolutely, yeah. I had to do something. I have been falling back too far in the points. So, yeah, I really went to work this past couple days and tried to figure this track out. I've never done this track before, so it was like I really needed to figure something out. But, yeah, super excited about it, and I'm really excited that the championship battle is going to keep going.
I could say why next week, though. It's a totally different style of track. It's a flat track. It's got concrete walls. We're not in Portugal anymore. We're going to Long Beach. How's that battle going to go with you, Marshall, next week?
I'm hoping it goes my way if I had to pick. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like when we did Miami, which is kind of a similar low speed, it was okay. But then when we went to Adelaide, he was better. So going to be putting in a lot of practice for it. Long Beach historically has been a pretty good track for me. I really like those low speed style street courses. So yeah, hoping to have a good run there as well. And yeah, put it all together.
You say low speed, but I mean, it's got a couple of very long straightaways, so a little bit of a mixture. So it'll be interesting to see how we're here at Racer Nexus are really looking forward to seeing how this championship plays out, because you and Marshall Crocker Jr. have put on a clinic, and it's been exciting to watch. So congratulations once again, Brock. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Absolutely. GG Spider Studios, Highside Podcast, Kettering University, Kettering Esports. Got to hand it to FMA for putting this whole deal on, and then also you guys up here in the booth for broadcasting it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Brock. We look forward to seeing what happens next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
That was our race winner, Brock Morris. Let's bring in now the guy who was trying to chase him down. Not only is he fast behind the wheel, he's fast behind the keyboard here on Thursday nights covering the FMA Prototype Challenge. That driver is Marshall Crocker Jr. Marshall, we saw you close the gap on Morris coming into pit lane, but then you didn't quite have enough for him after the pit cycle was able to open that gap up. Did you think maybe when you came into the pits simultaneously together that you might have something for him at the end of the race?
I'm going to be very honest. No, I didn't. If I'm honest, this one was signed, sealed, delivered from as soon as qualifying was done. I came into today. I only got a chance to run laps today. First time for 6 o'clock. You know, I've been so busy with work lately. Today was like the one day I was truly at zero for prep, and coming in, I could get the fast lap to click. I think I had the fastest lap in practice, but putting it together and being smooth enough to save your tires is a whole different deal. And I could see Brock, like I was watching him in practice. He has such a rhythm here from the prep he did this week that, yeah, I knew it was going to come down to qualifying, and I made some mistakes, but even if I'd gone perfect, I don't think I was getting pull off him. And yeah, to be honest, I think there was a path to victory. I was trying to think, okay, you know, I saved a little bit of extra fuel intentionally on the warm-up lap and then kind of all the way through that first stint, so I wasn't actually too worried about my pace. I thought we might actually be dead even the way I was saving, but I needed to get one extra lap out ahead and then take like no fuel on the stop. Maybe could have overcut him that way, and that would have been my only hope, because once you're in front, you know, you never know, you can kind of control the race from there. But nope, once I came into the pits, we both came in on the same lap and he was ahead of me. That was pretty much all she wrote.
So it looks like it's going to come down to the final two races between you and Morris to take the championship. We head to a drastically different track next week in Long Beach. How are you feeling about your chances of pulling back a win there?
Rough. I hate to be pessimistic tonight, if I'm honest, but I'm kind of a realist. I kind of see the way I think this is going to go. The Corvette's just going to dominate. That thing is going to be a rocket ship at Long Beach. It always is. It's got such a good front end, and there's so many low-speed corners. He was pulling like 3-4 tenths on me every lap through the low-speed section, so that one's going to be brutal. If I can like miraculously grab a pole or something like that, maybe I can control the race the same way. But you never know. It comes down to lap traffic next week. It's going to be all about patience. More than ever, it's I think going to be on the leader to make safe overtakes rather than the lap traffic to get out of the way, because Long Beach is just so tight, so technical. So we'll see. Maybe I can just kind of do what I've done a couple times this year. Not the fastest guy, but the most consistent. I'm trying to stay optimistic, but yeah, I really do think it's going to come down to Barcelona for the finale, and I think a little bit cooler is probably going to suit Brock, but I think it's a track I'll be pretty good at. So we'll see. I think I'm still coming out of today maybe 2 or 3 points up. We'll see, but yeah, it's gonna take a hero's drive next week, and don't forget about Jacobson. He'll be quick too.
Yeah, Alex Jacobson, a rough couple weeks for him. But before we let you go here, Marshall, anybody want to give a shout out to Tom cheering you on, or one of the millions and millions of fans watching in the grandstands around the track?
Billions, actually. But yeah, no, shout out to them. Shout out to you guys as always. Always love watching these back. You guys are doing a great job. And shout out to Alyssa as always for watching. It's been a crazy couple days, and haven't seen much of her, but always enjoy that she can watch these virtually, and it's like she's in the car there with me. Although today she would have been disappointed, would have been yelling at me to pick up the pace on Brock.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe she needs to drive one of these weeks for you, Marshall. But that said, best of luck next week at Long Beach and the final 2 races of the season. It's going to be interesting to watch you and Morris go toe-to-toe. Take care.
Thank you, Kelly. And hey, Matt Mars, Wives and Girlfriends Race. Make it happen. I've been pitching this in leagues forever. It'd be so much fun. For
sure. We got to get webcams on, though, just to make sure that they're actually behind the wheel and that one of the guys aren't hopping in and saying, look at what my missus is doing.
Just one of the guys wearing a wig. Yeah, I like that.
Best of luck, Marshall. Take care.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
And to round out our pro side of things, Alex Jacobson, our third place driver, into the booth. He's caught up with Richard Swindells.
Oh, Alex, our heart is aching for you tonight, but still a podium nonetheless. You battled back hard.
Yeah, I was telling the guys in the room, I can't seem to stop hurting my own races, but I'll take a podium in class, top 5 overall after that start, so not a bad race.
Yeah, you went almost all the way to the back. I mean, it looked like at one point, just before the pits, your tires were, you were almost drifting the car around. We saw you sliding around a little bit. I'm surprised you still had any tires left to continue those advancements. How slippery was it near the end?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a mix of my driving or what, but the percentages were fine when I came to the pit stop, so I thought I was all set, and then all of a sudden just seemed like it was all over the place, and Chase and Jacob were battling behind me and keeping up with me, so I just couldn't seem to get away. So it was coming down to it, and I feel like a couple more laps and Jacob would have gotten by me, but it was pretty slippery out there.
It certainly looked it. Now we've only got 2 weeks left. Next week we're going to Long Beach. The week after we're going to the final. We're closing it out at Catalunya in Barcelona. Are we gonna get to see you on top of the podium overall? I sure hope so, because you've got the pace, and which one's it gonna be? Which race are we gonna see it at Long Beach? We're gonna see it at Catalunya.
Well, I've never driven Catalunya, so I'm going to put my bets on Long Beach. I'm sponsoring next race, so I better do well, but maybe I'm cursing myself by saying that.
Well, you know what? You got to call it for next week, because if it didn't happen, you still got one more week. But you've certainly put on a lot of exciting racing this season. 2 weeks left to go. We're looking forward to see what you can do. Anybody you'd like to give thanks or shout out to tonight, Alex?
You know what, just shout out to all the guys. Been having some great battles with everybody, and just it's been a lot of fun this whole season. So sad that the season's almost over, but looking forward to the next season already. So just more great battles on track with these guys.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, congratulations on your podium finish, a strong recovery effort. We'll see you next week, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's bring in our man who was on a bit of a mission the second half of the race. On his way back up to third place overall, taking the top spot in the Pro-Am class. Fernando Rosario. Fernando, a little bit of an issue there to start the race. Fell back a number of spots, but you got yourself back up into third overall. Final step on the overall position and took top spot in class. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, at the beginning, you just gotta be careful, stay alive, don't get damaged, and eventually I just, catch up one by one.
Did you think when you fell back a little bit early that you had the pace to get yourself back up into the sharp end of the field, or did you think you had to really bide your time and just watch for mistakes from other drivers?
Well, the way I see it is like I'm gonna end up where I should end up. As long as I don't lose that much time, I should be able to end up where I was gonna end up anyways.
Nice. Well, we head to Long Beach next week, and we're going to wrap things up in Catalunya. So a bit of an F1 or FIA Grade 1 track, back to a tight confines of Long Beach, then back to another FIA Grade 1 track. How are you feeling about the last 2 races of the season, potentially snatching away the Pro-Am Championship?
The next race is gonna be interesting, since it's like street course and tight walls and all that stuff. So it should be interesting.
Do you have much experience on Long Beach?
I raced there probably 3 times or so.
So you got some homework to do this week. You've shown a ton of pace here this week at PORTIMAO. Did you put in much practice this week, or is it just track that just fits you well?
Not really. I've been getting lucky with the tracks I don't know. I've been doing well on those tracks, and the ones I do know, it's just meh,
Well, then I think we're looking for big things next week. Then if you've only raced at Long Beach a couple times, maybe you'll get that overall win. But best of luck next week to you. But before we let you go here, Fernando, anybody you want to give a shout out watching at home?
Yeah, shout out to my team and my teammate.
Excellent. So yeah, rough race for Chris Lashbrook, although I think he managed to write this one off. We'll see if he's able to regroup next week at Long Beach. But best of luck heading into the final 2 races of the season for you, Fernando. We'll be watching with glee in our eyes to see how you can do and potentially maybe take that win next week at Long Beach.
Yeah, thank you.
That was our top Pro-Am driver. Let's bring in our second place driver in Pro-Am with a hell of a drive here tonight, Kyle Mavis, to have a chat with Richard Swindells.
Congratulations, Kyle. It's been a long time coming. It's been a while.
Yeah, we've not always had the best of luck and had a number of other things that have popped up work and life-wise that have kept me from making a few races. So glad to be back. Glad to put in a good result today.
Yeah, a very, very solid drive. I mean, Fernando Rosario has been pretty strong in the Pro-Am class, and you held him off for a long time here up until the pit stops.
Yeah, I did my best. He's obviously pretty quick out here, no question about that. I had a few places he was faster than me, a few places I was faster than him. We had a nice little battle. I was holding him at about a 1.8 second gap there for a handful of laps, and then typical things, tires start to go, little mistakes creep in, miss an apex by a foot, and that thing started to whittle down. And as he got close to me there, I decided, hey, let's bail off and take a quick early pit. And I was a little scared because they don't give you a whole lot of runway on that pit entrance. So kind of overslowed myself and cost myself probably the gap that put him ahead of me when he came out of the pits, unfortunately. But thought I might have still had a shot at him. And just got a little too early on the gas coming out of the next to last corner there. And he was an 8-second gap, and I just sort of, relinquished myself to holding on to P4 and getting a good finish here for the team.
Well, you certainly got a good finish for the team. Nice to see you on the podium again. And next week we're going to Long Beach, back to the USA for the Ford Mustang. And how's that going to go for you?
Me and Long Beach don't have the best history. I've had some great races, and I've had some absolute trash fires there. So we're going to hope for
next week will be a great one. You're due.
Oh, super excited for it. So, we're going to definitely put in some practice laps over the weekend to get used to it there with the Mustang. You got to be a little cautious getting on the throttle over some of those bumps. So we'll get it dialed in. Hopefully be a good showing for us.
Well, we hope so too. Anybody like to give a shout out to tonight, Kyle?
Just, you guys in here, the admins of the league, always love the broadcasts. Always like to go back and watch those. And they put on a great league here that we really appreciate. It's the first GT3 league I've been a part of and having a blast. Then, of course, the wife and daughter for taking care of everything else around the house for a couple hours while I come up here and pretend to be Max Verstappen for a few hours. It's always a good time. Thanks, guys.
Pretending. Hey, you're on the podium. You're second here. Hey.
Kept it out of the wall. He didn't do so good, so.
There you go. We'll see what you can do next week. We're looking forward to maybe another podium, maybe a victory. Who knows? Let's see what happens in Long Beach.
That'd be fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So it's a second place driver in Pro-Am, and then let's round out the podium here in Pro-Am with Jay Davis, who also holding carried the flag here for the Warped Esports drivers here tonight. Jay, you got the final step on the podium in class. Nice run for you. How'd you see it from your end?
I'll take it. I had a little problem the first few laps there getting spun out, but to battle back and get a top 10 and to finish third, I'll take that podium spot. First one ever in FMA.
Yes, Jay, congratulations. I've had to just jump in. I was cheering you on, Jay, because I know you've had some tough times, man, and you battled on tonight, and it's nice to see.
Thank you. These AMs are tough, man.
Now, you're driving the Mercedes, who at various points in time in the race, we saw the 4 or 5 of you locked up one after the other in the timing tower. Was the Mercedes just really strong here tonight at Portimao, or was it just the drivers that were driving that just kind of found each other on track?
That's the Mercedes, man. The Mercedes is a pretty consistent car just about everywhere we go. So, and this is a tough track.
Yeah, it's a lot of blind corners, a lot of sweeping corners. It's a track that usually bodes well for the Porsche. It kind of eats that stuff up, but the American machinery on the top of the field here, and then as we mentioned, a number of Mercedes nose to tail. But we head to Long Beach next week, and it'll be a lot tighter confines. You have much experience with Long Beach, track you love or hate? Seems people either really love it or really hate it, or don't have much experience there at all.
Oh, it's got walls everywhere, so I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a fun track. I really enjoy that track, so looking forward to it.
There we go. We don't expect to see Jay Davis in the fountain at any point in time next week at Long Beach, but 2 weeks to go here in the season. How you feeling about your chances in the Pro-Am class to get a podium finish in the overall championship? I think Fernando came in with a relatively strong lead, but I don't think it's insurmountable at this point in time.
No, it'd be difficult because we've still got a drop round to go, so it's up in the air. So I'm happy with the group that we're racing with. These fast guys, so I'm happy with wherever I end up.
Excellent stuff. Well, before we let you go here, Jay, so you can get prepping for next week, give us any shout outs or warm wishes you'd like to give to the millions and millions watching at home cheering you on.
No, the only thing I could say is thanks for watching and for you guys commentating for us. We love it, and it's awesome.
We appreciate that. Thank you, Jay, and best of luck heading into the final 2 rounds of the season. Hopefully we see you battling up the sharp end of the field those 2 rounds. Take care, and best of luck.
Thank you.
So that rounds out our Pro-Am class. Rich, we got a couple of our AM drivers left here in the waiting room. Let's bring in our AM winner, Alex Berter, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Alex, congratulations. You're on a tear of late.
Yeah, last week had some issues where the threshold guys, we all decided to go to drives a little early, but I think that's 3 wins on the season, 3 of the last 4, so I'll take it.
Yeah, the season's winding down. Dustin Wells early on looked like he had an insurmountable lead, but has had a lot of troubles of late, and you stepped right in there to fill in the gap. It's going to be interesting how this plays out.
Yeah, it's nice that we're on the same team, so throughout the week we're back and forth in the Discord, just talking crap. It's all in fun though. But yeah, we're looking forward to it.
If you can't trash talk your teammate, who can you?
No, exactly.
Well, next week we're at Long Beach, totally different track from what we've seen here today, and Silverstone for that matter in the rain. How's the Porsche going to do for you next week?
Goal is just survive. I just need to survive next week. I haven't really run many laps with the Porsche there.
Yeah, it's going to be a little test, and you got to survive, get some points because the double points week to finish off the season. So overall, though, a solid effort. 14th overall, up 10 positions on the day. You avoided a little bit of the spins and the issues ahead, and put in a clean race and got yourself a victory. So looking forward to see what you can do next week, Alexander, and it's been fun watching you. Anybody you'd like to give thanks or shout out to or say hi to while we've got you?
Thanks to the Threshold guys, makes it fun. Thanks to you guys. The new overlays look great this week. I was able to catch just the last few interviews. They look great, so keep doing what you guys do.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week, and any luck, we'll be talking to you at the end of the race.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. So that was our AM winner, Alex Berter. And then to round out the interviews here tonight, let's bring in our second place driver in AM class, Cody Deek. Cody, a heck of a race there for you. We saw you up as high, I believe, as leading the class at one point in time. Able to bring it home second in class. Overall, how was your night here at Portimao in Portugal?
Surprisingly, it was spectacular. In practice, I was struggling just to keep the thing on the road, and I figured the heck with it. We're just going to start in the back. I wasn't even going to qualify, and I was just going to kind of hope people just wrecked out one by one, and we found something at the beginning, and then we just kept driving it. Honestly, the guy from Australia, I can't think of his name, Lashbrook?
Lashbrook, yep.
I owe him a big thank you. Surprisingly, a random shout out, but I just kept watching his laps. He was a top contender tonight, at least in practice I was watching. So I just kept watching his laps, and I tried mimicking what he was doing. And somehow threw it all together, and we ended up P2 in class. So, I mean, I'm ecstatic about it. It's our best finish so far this season.
Yeah, congrats on that. That's absolutely the move there. You find the quick driver who's driving the same car as you, find out where he's picking up that time, and looks like he went to school and found that pace. Next week we head to Long Beach. Going to be a lot tighter confines than here at Portimao. How you feeling about heading into the final 2 weeks? You get a night race at Catalunya, extended race to finish up the season. The concrete jungle of Long Beach next week. How's Cody Deek looking at the last 2 races?
So I'll be honest, next week I'll be practicing that tonight. I'll throw 4 different cars at it and see what I feel most comfortable in, and then start working on a paint scheme throughout the week. The last race of the season, I'm not even looking at it yet. I need to put all my focus on what's next and what's ahead of me, and just not lose focus on that.
That's what we'd like to hear. Put the blinders on, get to work, and get it done. But before we let you go and start prepping for next week, Cody, any shout-outs that you want to give anybody at home cheering you on, teammates, old school teachers, principals, maybe the boss at work that fired you that said you'd never amount to anything? What do you got to say to them?
Oh, for sure. I'd like to give a shout out to you guys. Again, amazing up there in the booth. I enjoy watching you guys while I'm racing. Oath Racing, FMA, Red Dragon, Lycan, Forge 3D, Ulti Energy. And then Aaron Hatter, unfortunately, he didn't finish the race tonight. He spun early and left, but maybe we can get him to stick around next weekend, Long Beach.
Yeah, we'll see how the Oath Racing team does next week. But thanks for popping in, Cody. Best of luck next week. Go get that prep ready for Long Beach so we can see you on the podium again. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed night.
Okay, Rich, that's going to wrap up interviews here at Circuit del Algarve, otherwise known as Portimao in Portugal. I think a heck of a race here. The track always brings the racing, the blind corners, sweeping corners. We saw a ton of unfortunate incidents for a number of drivers early on in this one, but I think out of our 26 drivers that gridded up, I think 22 of them made the checkered flag, so we only lost a couple of drivers early on. But next week in Long Beach is going to be real interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Totally different from this week. I mean, as you said in your track guide for broadcasting, or your recommendations for best tracks for broadcasting, this is right up there. You know what? Long Beach is one of my favorites, and totally different. Going to be a lot of fun, and I want to see what happens in the pro battle between Morris and Crocker Jr. I want to see who's got what. I want to see if Alex Jacobson's finally going to get the monkey off his back and get the job done. And hey, we'll have some fun.
Well, if you're interested in that as well, tune in next week, same time, same place. We'll kick off the final 2 races of the season. We'll see how the points championship comes into play. Hopefully they've factored in the drop weeks for us next week so we get a real idea of the championship battles heading into the final 2 seasons. But that's going to be it for us. For Racers Nexus, I'm Rob Campbell. Richard Swindell's in the booth with me. We'll catch you next week at Long Beach. Bye for now.